Okay, for tonight's homework, I want you to copy each of these problems down. The more you could do these problems, the better. You definitely need your repetitions on these to get your rhythm with this algebra. Listen to my 4-word secret message and turn in your work with that secret message, knowing that you watched it all the way through. Turn that in at the end of or at the beginning of the period tomorrow. All right, here we go. First problem. I'm going to model how you would solve a variable equation with 2 for y, and then I'll do these with just a's and b's. So the first step to get that y by itself is to get rid of that 2x term by subtracting 2x on both sides. Those go away. I bring down the 3y. I make sure I do not subtract 12 minus 2x because those are unlike terms, and I write them in slope-intercept form with the x form first and the plane number second. Again, do not subtract these. These are unlike terms. Make sure you write the x term first, making sure you include that negative in there. So keeping going here to get that y by itself. Now I do the opposite of timesing by 3. Now I divide by 3. That first step involves subtracting a whole term. When I divide both sides by 3, I get y equals negative 2x plus 12 divided by 3. Some people like to leave it in that form. I would like you, because you're advanced, to split that up into 2 separate fractions where you divide the negative 2x by its own 3, and then you divide that 12 by its own 3. And of course that 12 over 3 simplifies to 4. So when I rewrite that, I get y equals negative 2x over 3 plus 4. And if I was to graph that, 4 is my y-intercept. I go up to 4 on my x-axis, or on my y-axis. That's the y-intercept. My slope is negative 2 over 3, which means when I go up to the point 4 on the y-axis, I will go down 2 for my rise and over 3 for my run. Down 2 for my rise, over 3 for my run. There'll be another one of those coming. So that is the first problem there. First word is blue. All right, next problem. I'm going to shrink that down and now solve this equation up here with just letters. I'm going to solve for the variable y, but it's going to be the same format as I did this one right here, but this has just letters. So to get that y by itself, I need to eliminate this whole ax term by subtracting ax on both sides. That whole term cancels away, and I just bring down the by, and I make sure I can't subtract these because these are unlike terms. I write the minus ax first plus the c, so the x term first with the plain number c, or plain letter c second. Next step, opposite of multiplying by b is dividing both sides by b, and that gets y by itself and gives me negative ax plus c over b. That is the way it's going to be written on the test, but because you guys are smart, I want you to be able to split that up into 2 little separate fractions like this. So I have the negative ax over b by itself, and then I add that to the c being divided by its own little b part right there. So that's a step beyond. I want you to be able to do that. But on the test, it'll be written just like this. All right, next problem. I'm solving this for the letter C, trying to get this C by itself. So I need to eliminate this B term and then divide. So first step, subtract B on both sides. Those cancel away. A minus B can't be subtracted, so I just write it next to each other. I bring down the whole CX term. The opposite of timesing by X here is dividing both sides by X. And then I get C by itself, which gives me A minus B over X equals C. And of course, they're going to flip that around, so C is on the left side, and you get A minus B over X. That's how it's going to be written on the final. But of course, since you guys are smart, I want you to be able to split that up. So you have A divided by its own little x minus B divided by its own little x. I want you guys to be able to go above and beyond because you're so smart. Second word is cow. All right, next two. For these, you distribute, combine like terms, and then start your variables on both sides process. So first step on these, distribute. Sometimes you got to double distribute. So 5 times x gives me 5x. 5 times negative 6, negative 30. Bring down the inequality, less than 2x. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 all the way down here times negative x. Be careful, this is where the mistake is made. Negative 2 times this negative x gives me positive 2x, so be careful. So after I distribute, I then look to combine like terms. So I'm going to combine this 2x and this 2x. And again, showing you, make sure you get positive 2x right there. Second, after you distribute, combine all like terms. Can't combine anything over here. Over here, I can combine these two 2x terms. So I get 5x minus 30 less than 4x minus 2. Now you have it in a variables on both sides process. Always start on the left side, get rid of the plain number. After that, go to the right side and eliminate the variable. And if you need to, go back to the left and divide. But for this one, I'm going to start on the left side by adding 30 to both sides. Those cancel away. Bring down the 5x. The less than, don't put it equal on there, keep it an inequality. 4x plus positive 28. Know your negative rules. Use a calculator if you need to. Second step, stay over here and eliminate the 4x. Minus 4x minus 4x. That gives me just plain old x less than 28. So I didn't have to go over here and divide. That one was done for me. Know on these, the answers will be given to you as inequality number lines. So x less than 28. Less than means it's going to be an open circle. You can't include 28 in there. You don't have that line under there. It's not less than or equal to. So open circle. Less than means all the numbers to the left of 28. So be looking for that answer for that one. All right, for the next problem, I'm going to show a little blinder so you're not overwhelmed here. But I'm going to distribute. Either do it twice or once. Sometimes you got to do it twice in a problem, sometimes once. After you distribute, combine like terms. So when I distribute, negative 4x plus 12. Be careful there. Negative 4 times negative 3 is plus 12. Be careful. That's where the mistake is made. Combine your like terms. Nothing on the right, but on the left side I combine the two plain numbers. 15 plus 12 gives me 27. Bring down the negative 4x equals 5x plus 8. Now it's a variables on both sides. Start on the left side. Get rid of the plain number. It doesn't matter which order this is. Get rid of the plain number on the left. Go to the right. Get rid of the variable. Go back to the left. Divide. Always stair step it. So on the left, get rid of the plain number, minus 27. Make sure when you cancel that away, you bring down this negative with the 4x. A lot of people forget that. Negative 4x equals 5x minus 19. Use your calculator. 8 minus 27. Second step, stay on this side. Get rid of the x term by subtracting 5x on both sides. That gives me negative 9x. Use your calculator if you need to. Negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9x equals negative 19. Now the opposite of multiplying by negative 9, dividing by negative 9. Don't just divide by 9 here. Divide by negative 9. A lot of people just divide by 9 right there. Divide by negative 9. Those cancel away. And you get x equals negative 19 over 9. And they're going to simplify that to be positive value. 19 over 9. The third word is water. All right, next problem. For this one, they're having you identify the mistake. So here we go. Let's go to that next problem. Feel free to stop and pause and go back. So for this one, first step is going to be all good. I'm going to distribute both. 2 times x, 2 times negative 3, negative 1 times x, negative 1 times 4. Be careful. So that first step gives me 2x minus 6. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Now, tricky part, negative 1 times this 4 gives me negative 4. Be careful there. That's good. Now I'm going to rearrange my like terms so they're next to each other. Another good step. 2x minus x, making my like terms right next to each other. Minus 6 minus 4, I'm grouping my like terms, my x terms, my plain numbers, equals 15. And again, that is good. You could do that. Next, combine like terms. 2x minus x gives me just plain old x. Negative 6 minus 4 gives me negative 10. Know your negative rules. X minus 10 equals 15. That is good. Here comes the bad part. They're going to do the wrong inverse operation. They're going to subtract 10 on both sides. Even though they're doing the same thing to both sides, you wouldn't want to do that. These would not cancel away. These would combine to give you negative 20. The way they write it, they have these cancel away and give you x equal 15, but that, x equal 5. That would not happen. If you subtracted 10 from 10, you would get negative 20 right here. These would not cancel away and just leave you plain x. The only way you're going to make this minus 10 cancel away is by doing the opposite, adding 10, which I'll show you here shortly. But again, that step where you subtract 10 on both sides, can't do that. That's no good. That would have gave you negative 20 over here. Can't do that. So what you should have done, and I'll erase that bad step there. What I should have done at that point is to solve for x right here. I should have added 10 plus 10 plus 10, the opposite of subtracting 10, adding 10. That would have canceled those 10s away for sure and left me just x over there. So plus 10, those go away, gives me x equal the real answer, which is 25. That's what you should have done. But again, on this problem, they want you to identify the bad area, which again, if I go back in time, was right here. Can't do that. Bad. Should have done this. Good. Add 10, add 10. Now it'll give you x equals 25. So make sure you know that. Please watch these, practice these problems, get the help that you need and deserve. All right, the last word is jump. Good luck. See you tomorrow.